Okay guys, let's get straight onto the video. Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be getting more OP armor. Some of you are disappointed because it was not pure vanilla survival, or it was pure vanilla survival, but it was requiring a bunch of glitches and illegals, and it was also in 1.2.13. And what I'm going to do for today, guys, is I'm going to make up for it, and I am going to do a 1.21.31 OP armor video. And this 1.21.31 is the latest version of the game as of now, as of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and get straight to the video, and we are going to get some OP armor. Okay guys, first thing up is the helmet. The best thing you can get right now is the netherite helmet. That's the best. Netherite armor and netherite tools is the best thing you can get in the game as of now. Hopefully they come out with another set that's stronger than netherite. That'd be insane. But the enchants that we are going to need for the helmet is as follows: Mending, Breaking 3, Protection 4, Thorns 3, Aqua Affinity, and Respiration 3. So Mending is so I'm going to go ahead and go through each new book that we get. So Mending is basically when we get XP. If this is a damaged helmet, let's just say it was damaged and I got XP. This Mending book, if this is applied to the helmet, this will heal up the helmet back to its full form. So it will basically never break. This book is going to be in everything. It's the most OP book that you can get. Next is Unbreaking 3. This Unbreaking 3 book helps this netherite helmet take longer to break, even though the mending helps it out. This makes sure that these two combined make sure it never breaks. Protection 4 adds protection to it, and it will keep you safe from a skeleton shot. Thorns 3 is basically whenever you get, let's say that cow over here hit me, it would hurt if I had Thorns 3 on, it would hurt the cow back. And then so when it kept doing damage to me, it would keep hurting it. Aqua Affinity helps you mine better in the water. So if you're underwater and you have a helmet with Aqua Affinity on, and you just started mining this stone, obviously I'm in creative, but if you start mining this stone with Aqua Affinity on, it makes it faster. Without it, it takes forever. Next is Respiration 3. So if I go into the water, go into survival, I slowly start losing bubbles. But with this Respiration 3 helmet, this goes down to like once every 1 to 2 seconds or so. I believe Respiration 3 makes it 1 every 3 seconds. So it's 3 or 5 seconds, I can't remember. But it helps out a lot, and it will help you through all your underwater journeys. So now I'm going to show you guys how to apply all of these with the little XP possible, which not many YouTubers do. So first and foremost, when we take the netherite helmet, we want to go ahead and place Mending book in first. This is always going to be the lowest cost book, because if I put Unbreaking 3 in, it's going to be a 3, 4, 12, 2. Okay, Aqua Affinity is also 2, but I recommend doing Mending. So let's go ahead and put Mending on. Mending is the first thing on that you should put on a helmet. Next is Aqua Affinity, because that's the second lowest. So let's go ahead and put Aqua Affinity on. Next, we are going to put Unbreaking 3 on, because this only costs 6, and all of these other 3 have cost more than levels than the Unbreaking 3. So let's put the Unbreaking 3 on. This will keep our helmet from breaking. Next, what we are going to put on is the Protection 4. This is 11 levels, so it gets more expensive as we go. But this is obvious. This is the cheapest way and the easiest way to get a maxed out helmet. Now, the way I'm doing this is I just put the helmet in. I have all my enchants, and I look at the enchant. So this is 11 levels. This is 13 levels. And this is 19 levels. So obviously, I want to go with the Protection 4 because it only costs 11 levels. I put that on. And now we go ahead and look. Respiration. Probably want to put Respiration on, which gets 21 levels. Then finally, Thorns 3, which is 43. The final one. If you guys don't have to put on Thorns 3, I sometimes don't, because it's kind of annoying when you're dealing with animals. But if you want the most OP armor in PvP, I'd recommend putting on Thorns 3, because it hurts the player when they hit you. But I would recommend having a set without Thorns 3 and having a set with Thorns 3. So yeah, it really depends on your level shortage. So if you have 43 levels and you have a PvP thing, go ahead and put it on, because it's probably definitely worth it for PvP. Next, after we get through the helmet, we are onto the chestplate. Okay, next 4 enchants we need for the chestplate. This is like the easiest armor piece to enchant. This is Mending, which we've already put on Breaking, Protection 4, and Thorns. which this is going to be the cheapest one, obviously, because it's got only 4 enchants. So the way we would do this is we would kind of put it on the way we did the helmet. We put on the mending, put on our breaking, put on protection, and then put on thorns 3, which this one only costs 19 levels. So this is also the cheapest one we could get. How sick do I look? Awesome. Now I'm probably so OP right now. No mob could take me. A player probably could, because we don't have our leggings or our boots yet. So, so next we are going to go on to leggings. This one's a bit interesting, more interesting than the chestplate. Okay, so this time we need 5 enchanted books. So what we are going to, we need a mending, a breaking, protection 4, thorns 3, all the usual, and then we have 1 extra enchant, swift sneak 3. Swift sneak is such an OP enchantment. It was added in 1.19. So basically what it does is that if I'm like, I don't know, if I'm like up in a high spot and I want to bridge, this is just too long. Even with shift bridging, it's still really slow, as you can see. But with swift sneak, it helps you a lot because it's so much faster. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to apply it. So first we start out with mending. Everything we start out with mending because it's the most important and it's the easiest enchant to get. Unbreaking, then protection, then thorns like normal, and then finally we put on swift sneak, which is 27 levels. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how much this increases. So without the swift sneak, it's like this. With the swift sneak, it is so much faster. You used to notice it. So without the swift sneak, with the swift sneak, isn't that crazy? And you could probably shift bridge and bridge just fine. This is probably one of the best enchants to have on your gear, because it's always easier to, like, if you're getting chased by a player and all of a sudden you come up like to a lava lake. It's so easy just to go out to a lava lake and start bridging over them. Make sure you have room in between, maybe even block it up to make it harder for them to get to you, and just start shift bridging all the way down, or whatever type of bridging you like. So next is the boots. This is the hardest armor piece to get every enchant on, and yet they're so OP once you get them all. This is all the enchants we need. So we need mending, unbreaking, protection, thorns. Now this is the interesting one. Feather falling 4, depth strider 3, and soul speed. I'm gonna go ahead and explain these 3 I mean. So feather falling, it's kind of what like it sounds. If you go ahead and like fall from a very high height in survival like this, you die. But if you have feather falling 4 on, go back into survival, fall. As you can see, I only lost half of my health, which this is so OP on its own. You could take all the fall damage, and you won't die from your friend running behind you trying to, and you could just keep running, and they can't catch up to you. They can't catch up to you, especially if they don't have feather falling, because you could easily jump away from them, and they've got to slowly traverse the nether or even overworld. They've got to slowly traverse it, because if they don't have feather falling, they are going to die. Well, you can survive that height, and they probably couldn't. So what we want to do is I'm going to show you guys how to put it on. This one's a bit tricky. What I would recommend is I would start out combining Thorns 3 and Soul Speed, because these are the most expensive ones probably. So let's go ahead and combine them. What I would recommend is combining this Thorns 3 Soul Speed 3 book with Depth Strider 3, so you can play as little possible. So combine Thorns 3, Soul Speed 3, and Depth Strider 3 all onto this one book. This is going to ensure minimum XP use as possible. This is not many people there. I don't think there's ever been a YouTuber who's done it this way, but it's for sure the cheapest way. So what I would do is I would go into here, go ahead and put mending, go ahead and put on breaking, go ahead and put on protection, feather falling, and then go ahead and take this book, and it's going to be 48 levels, but look at those boots. It's insane. This is the cheapest way you can do it. So you put mending, unbreaking, protection, feather falling 4, and then you would combine Thorns 3, Soul Speed 3, Depth Stride 3 book. Remember, they all have to be on the same book onto the boots, and it's definitely the cheapest way to do it. Don't I look absolutely sick in this armor as soon as the stupid tooltip goes away. There you go. Don't I look sick? Don't I look like don't I look like a person that you would not want to mess with? Yeah, if I saw somebody in this suit, I would not want to mess with them. So let's go on into the weapons, because you can look cool, but you gotta actually be cool and walk around with crazy good weapons. First, obviously, is the sword. Okay, guys, so now we got a few new books here. We know about mending and unbreaking, but we got 4 new books here. This is sharpness. So we're really going to start. I'm going to explain each of them. Sharpness 5 will help you. So if I go ahead and try to kill this cow, it'll make me take 2 hits, non-crit, 2 hits with a normal netherite sword. But if I opt to put sharpness on it, so this is sharpness 5, and walk up to this cow, no crits, I can one-tap it. Isn't that crazy? So sharpness is basically adds extra damage to a sword, so you can do the max damage, especially if you're critting a person. If you're just critting a person, they're not going to be able to take your hits, especially if you have strength 2 pots, golden apples, or notch apples even, and your sharpness 5 is going to do so much damage. Next on the list is fire aspect 2. So when I killed that cow, it dropped raw meat. But if I hit this pig, I'm not going to apply, it would drop cooked pork. It sets them on fire and they die to it. So imagine just like being in a battle and you have the fire damage, you have the sharpness 5 on. It's going to be so hard. Now next one, knockback 2. Knockback 2. So if I go, is basically when you walk up to a mob and punch them, they don't go that far. He went like around 1 or 2 blocks. But if I had this knockback 2 on my sword, it sent them like 4 to 5 blocks, 5 to 6 maybe. It basically increases the knockback of you hitting them, and it throws them back even farther. So it'd be so hard for that player to come up to you and hit you, especially if you time your combos right. So next probably is looting 3. Looting 3 is basically, so if I killed, I don't know, let's just say a wither skeleton. People use this all the time. A wither skeleton, and it doesn't drop a head. Womp womp, doesn't drop a head. But if you had looting 3, that increases the chances of you getting a wither skeleton head by so much. That's what looting 3 is. It helps you with your luck of getting a certain item. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to apply everything. So first you want to obviously start out with mending and unbreaking. Then you want to go knockback 2, fire aspect 2, sharpness 5, and the most expensive one, looting 3. Looting 3 is so good. And now if I walk up to this pig, 1 shot and I get cooked pork, and did you see how far he flied? So if you see, if I walk up to the sheep, she'll fly about, 2 blocks. And then if I walk up to this pig, as soon as he stops moving, or this cow even, and hit him, his body flew around 4 to 5 blocks away from me, and I got cooked steak. And look, the looting 3 applied. Usually we only get like 0 to 2 steak, but the looting 3 gave me 4 leather and 4 steak. That is awesome. Next, we are going to go on to the axe. Okay, guys, so this axe is kind of like mostly like the sword. It's got sharpness 5, but it's also got 3 new books here. It's got efficiency 5, which basically, if you walk up to a block and started mining it, it takes a bit to mine. But with the efficiency 5 block, if I mined it with the right tool, so if I had efficiency 5 shovel, it insta-mined this dirt right over here. So this increases the speed of your mining, of the mining on your tool. Next is Silk Touch. Silk Touch is such an OP one, and so is the next one. Silk Touch. So if I wanted to get this dirt, this grass block, I'd get dirt. Womp womp, normal dirt. But if I went up to a grass block and mined it with Silk Touch, like a Silk Touch tool, it'd give me that grass block, just like in this form right here. And next is Fortune 3. If I'm going diamond hunting, if I find a diamond ore, I'd only get 1 diamond when I mine that diamond ore. But with Fortune, you can get about 2 to 5 diamonds from 1 diamond ore. It increases the the value of of what you get from ores, and then some other things too that I can't think of at the top of my head. But mainly ores, because ores is probably the hardest, the easiest thing in the game. Thing is about Silk Touch and Fortune, I can't combine them, as you can see. So the thing is with this axe, I can't have Silk Touch and Fortune on the same axe. So you have to choose. I would recommend I'd recommend having Fortune, or if you want useful, Silk Touch. But sometimes it's annoying, like if you want to mine up a bookshelf, and you'll get the actual bookshelf when you want books. Sometimes it's annoying. And then there's also Fortune 3. Fortune 3 literally has no use on an axe that I can think of. It's just an extra book. So usefulness, Silk Touch. Sometimes annoying. Uselessness, Fortune, but looks cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to put it on. And by the way, Silk Touch is also cheaper than Fortune 3. So I would probably go with Silk Touch, honestly. So next, you put on Mending, put on Breaking, put Silk Touch on. And if I show you guys, as you can see, I can't put Fortune on because I have Silk Touch. So you gotta choose between Fortune and Silk Touch. I'd probably say Efficiency, because that's probably the most useful thing on the axe. And then Sharpness 5. And now we got a crazy axe. And by the way, with axes, especially in Java, if you're fighting with an axe and they got a shield and they're holding up a shield, it'll break their shield and they can't use it for a while. It's on cooldown. So this is definitely a good tool to use. If you get really good, this does more damage in Bedrock Edition. As you can see, plus 14 attack damage, plus 13 attack damage. So I would recommend, if you're fighting, I would quickly switch to an axe, swing, and it also swings faster in Bedrock Edition. So you can, like, seriously, but with the timing and everything in Java, it's kind of the same as the sword for the max damage. So like, what I would do is I would switch the axe, hit them break their shield, and then go full out critting on them while blocking their swings with the sword. It's really good. So now that we got these two, now we're on to the pickaxe. Okay, so this is a very easy one, but I would recommend honestly getting 2 pickaxes, because this also has this is literally the same as the axe with minus sharpness 5. So with this one, I can get Silk Touch of Fortune again, and Silk Touch of Fortune works kind of the same way as the axe. But I would get 2 pickaxes, especially so I use Fortune when mining, and then Silk Touch when I don't know, doing your everyday thing, because Silk Touch you can get pretty good blocks, while Fortune is just a waste. You probably want to use it on diamonds and other stuff like that when mining. So let's go ahead and start out. So it's Mending on Breaking, Fortune, Silk Touch, and Efficiency 5 is all the books we need for a maxed out pickaxe. So I would start out with Mending, put on a Breaking, and then I would start out, Silk Touch is easier. I would recommend putting Silk Touch on, and then Efficiency 5. And then I would go and get another pickaxe, and then put on Mending, Unbreaking, Fortune, and Efficiency 5. So now you have a Silk Touch and a Fortune 3 pickaxe. I would definitely recommend having both. If I was to be honest, having both is so useful in just getting around in the everyday game. It's just awesome. Next, we are on to the shovel, and the shovel's literally the same as these two. You get 2 of them. So like before, I'm gonna go ahead and put Mending on, put Unbreaking on, Silk Touch or Fortune on. I'd recommend Silk Touch at the beginning of the game, and then Efficiency 5. So now you have a Silk Touch shovel. So now you can get these little grass blocks that you've always wanted. You can get those grass blocks, and you can play around with them. It's so much fun to mess around with grass blocks. So now you're gonna go ahead and get a Fortune shovel, put Mending, put Unbreaking, put Fortune, and put Efficiency 5. This is awesome. Now we have a Silk Touch and a Fortune shovel. This is so useful. I would recommend having, like, I don't know, the Fortune ones in the ender chest. So whenever you put down your ender chest and use them. But otherwise, I would definitely, especially if you have a Silk Touch pickaxe or shovel, and you're like quickly, I don't know, you dive down deep in a chase, and then you just start mining away. what you could do is you'll get stone, and you could start blocking up behind you, and it's going to be so hard for them to get to you, because they see stone, and they can't get to you. Same with the shovel. If you're digging down, you can use the dirt, the grass blocks you use to cover up your hole, so they wouldn't be able to see what's above where you dig down. Next is the hoe, and it literally works the same thing. You get mending. So again, you start with mending, start with unbreaking, start with silk touch, and then start with efficiency 5. And it's the same with the fortune hoe, but this time. So now you have a silk touch and a fortune 3 hoe. Isn't that so cool? Like, you're going to be farming for days, and no one's going to do anything about it. It's going to be awesome. By the way, the hoe is definitely the worst netherite tool you can get in the game, but if you want to get it, you do you. Next is the bow, and this thing is awesome. You can if you don't have aimbot and you're not cheating, obviously I don't have aimbot because this would be working so much better right now. But if you want to go ahead and snipe the people all the way, all the way over at that mountain and deal critical hits at them. The thing about the bow is that you can't put mending, or you can put mending on it, but it's definitely not recommended because you can easily repair it by combining it with a normal bow. So what I would recommend, I would get Unbreaking 3, Infinity, Power 5, Punch 2, Flame 1. This is 5 enchants in total. And the reason we can't put Mending on is because of this Infinity book right here. Mending and Infinity can't be combined, which, before I explain everything, I'm going to explain Infinity is. So if I had a stack of arrows, as you can see, if I could start shooting things, I can shoot down that sheep, I could shoot down that cow. And as you can see, if you look down at my bar, the thing about these arrows is that they're going down. As you can see, I went down from 64 to 46 by shooting all of those arrows. But if you have Infinity on, Infinity will make sure that you don't run out of arrows. It'll literally be infinity arrows. It'd be so cool. And now next is Power 5. Power 5 increases the damage you do to any mob. Obviously, I could shoot that sheep in one shot because it's got such low health. Same with that chicken. Oh, that cow just disappeared. But that cow takes 2 hits. This Power 5 book, kill it instantly. Because it increases it's kind of like sharpness. It increases the damage of the bow. It's really useful. Definitely would recommend having it. I definitely recommend having it. And next is Punch 2. Punch 2 is literally knockback on a bow. So if I go ahead and shoot a mob, it doesn't go that far, as you can see. But with Punch 2, it fling them back. Just like knockback. It's definitely a keeper. And then Flame. Flame is like Fire Aspect on the sword, and it catches mobs on fire when you shoot. As you can see, if you shoot that chicken, the body's not on fire when it burns, and I don't get cooked chicken. Womp womp. So what I would do is I want to get these 5 enchants on my bow. So if I go ahead and place, I would recommend going with Flame. Start out with Flame. Go Unbreaking 3. Go Infinity. Go Punch 2. And Power 5. And if I go ahead and pull this thing back, I get cooked meat and infinite arrows. Look at that. And it one hit a cow. That is awesome. You can be sniping your friends from Infinity. Just make sure, I would definitely do target practice. Been a while since I target practice with the bow. I'm not hitting everything. So yeah, definitely recommend getting the bow for battle. Next is crossbow. This is an interesting one. Yes, with crossbows, they do more damage than a bow. But the thing is, it takes such a long time to power up. But the good thing about this is, I don't know if this is in Bedrock Edition, but I know in Java Edition, these things can go through shields. So if somebody's holding a shield up to you while you're sniping them, all you could do is power up your crossbow, and then shoot them down from down below, and they can't do anything about it, because you literally break their shield just like the axe. So it's pretty sick. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and go through all the enchants for the crossbow. So it's mending, breaking 3, piercing 4, quick charge 3, and that's like the best things you can get on the crossbow. So if I go ahead and go to here, so what I'm gonna go and explain these two. One, this is piercing 4 and quick charge 3. So piercing 4, if I shoot this cow, it doesn't go through the cow. It just probably, like, I don't know, sinks into its flesh or something. But it doesn't go through the cow, and it doesn't do that much damage. As you can see, I had 2 hits. So what piercing does is it goes through the entire cow and kills the entire thing, and probably in one shot. I don't know. We'll find out when we apply it. But it also goes through the mob, so the arrow just keeps on going and going and going. Obviously, there's a limit, but it just keeps on going. And I don't know, it's kind of useful, but the main part of what you want for it is the damage, because the damage is awesome. Next is quick charge 3. If you've noticed, it takes quite a while for this thing to charge up. But quick charge 3, on the other hand, speeds it up like 2 times faster. So it shoots a lot faster. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to apply it. First, you start with mending. Then you put on breaking. Then quick charge. And then piercing. And as you can see, so much faster. Look at that. Look at that quick charge. It pulls so much quicker. And then also, if I shoot this pig, it healed the pig, did all the damage it needed, and still went through it. That's what's so cool. Crossbows definitely aren't as powerful as a bow. Next, we are going to skip the mace. Haha, you guys thought we were going to do the mace? Not yet. We are going to go through these four items: the shield, the shears, the flint and steel, and the elytra. So these ones are a little bit special. They only get mending and unbreaking. This is like the easiest one. This is like if you really want to flex on your friends that you got so much levels that you can literally enchant up shears. Like, why you need that? I don't know. But it's literally all these 3 items, except maybe the elytra and the shield. These are literally flex items. They show that you look extremely OP. So what I would do is I would just apply mending to all of them, and then apply unbreaking to all of them. So now you got an infinite shield, infinite shears even, and then infinite flint and steel, so you can light fire. You can be a pyromaniac all you want. And then you can also fly all you want as well. This is so cool. So yeah, we got those 4 out of the way. Now this thing is starting to look quite interesting now. Next, we are going on to the fishing rod. If you're that kind of guy that literally hops onto Minecraft just to fish, we've all had this before. We've all been in this fishing stage where we just hop into the world and fish. Yes, sometimes I don't know why it was exciting, but sometimes it still is. Look at that. I just got a water bottle with no effects. If you're that kind of guy and you're still in that fishing phase, we've all been in that. This is the segment for you. We are going to be setting up Luck of the Sea 3 and Lure 3. These are 2 new books. These are not new to Minecraft, but these are 2 new books in this segment. Luck of the Sea 3 is, as you saw, I got a water bottle, which is kind of rare. It definitely is kind of rare because usually you don't get that. Not the book. But what you can get a lot of things from fishing rods, like fish, water bottles, ink sacks, and even enchanted books, even, which I understand that. Then Nautilus shells, tons of stuff. And that's what Luck of the Sea does. It gets you all those stuff except fish. It gets you all the other stuff that is usually hard to get. It increases your luck of getting an enchanted book or other stuff. While Lure 3 helps you, one, get a lot more luck on fish. It makes fish appear more often, and it also, it makes those bubbles that popped up. Those bubbles that are going to my bobber and bring it down. Look, a bone. That's what Lure 3 does. It makes them more common, and then it also gets you a lot more fish. These 2 are a definite need if you're still in that fishing phase. So the way you would apply this is like normal: mending, then breaking, and then you would put on Lure 3, and then finally Luck of the sea 3. Why is it raining now? There we go. Now it should be going away. So now we got an OP fishing rod. Yay! And one thing, okay, there's some good sides about the fishing rod. I know Dream has done some crazy stuff with it, like hooking. Okay, how does he do this? Oh yeah, there you go. Hooking onto his friends and then pulling them up from high heights. Woo! Oh, that's actually kind of fun. And then dropping them like that and do, or even go, I don't understand how he does this. Go over an item that they drop and just try to hook it and try to bring it up to yourself. I do not understand how you do this. It's like a Java thing only. Probably a Java thing only. But yeah, you could, in Java Edition, you can hook items and bring them all the way up to you and fling them up. He's done that with some of his friends. It's pretty cool. Definitely recommend watching this series. And I believe he's starting a new one, I believe. So yeah, look at this chest. We've got everything except the trident and the mace. Let's go on to the trident because I want to make you guys wait for the mace. Haha. So the trident is definitely a good one to hang on to. This thing is so cool. I love throwing tridents at my friends. Because I don't know, I feel like Poseidon. So this one requires mending, unbreaking 3, channeling, loyalty 3, and impaling. These are the best 5 books that you can get on a trident. So these ones, so I'm gonna go and explain these 3. So let's just say there was a thunderstorm. Oh, look at that. All of a sudden a thunderstorm. I feel like I command the rain and the thunder. And I go ahead and take a channeling trident. So usually if I go ahead and throw a trident at something, like a normal one, it would just hurt it and kill it. Not much happens. If I go up to, like, I don't know, a sheep and throw it at it, isn't that cool? It strikes thunder upon the street. You are literally Zeus, like for mythology. And if you get lucky, probably could even find a pig to strike it with lightning and then get a zombie pigman. My goodness. Or just have a lot of fun with lightning rods and just constantly be throwing these things. Fun. Isn't that cool? You be able to command the lightning and the thunder. Sadly, all good times have to come to an end, so the weather's now clearing because I command the thunder and the rain. Haha. So what I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So the channeling, I showed you channeling. Next is impaling. Impaling is leg sharpness and power 5, and it basically just does more damage when you throw the trident at the mob. So I could probably one-hit that pig when I have the impaling 5. And then final one is loyalty 3. So if you've noticed, if I throw this trident, that trident, in survival, I would have no trident anymore. That trident is all the way over here and it's not coming back to me. Unless I come over here and pick it up myself, which is kind of annoying. While loyalty, if I throw the trident, it would immediately come back to me so I can use it again. So I can be like, whoa, 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 and they'd come back to me and I can infinitely use this thing upon pigs. All pigs will die in my area. No pigs will be left alive. How is this pig dodging all these tridents? There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you guys how to use these. So let's first go ahead and put on mending, like usual. Put on a breaking. Next one you want to put on is loyalty 3, channeling, and impaling 5. And as you can see, you got 5 enchantments on this thing, and this thing is OP. So if I can throw it to me, and look at that. The trident comes right back to me. Even if I miss the mob, it'll keep coming back. And it also, I can probably now, if I can actually hit the pig. Oh, I can't one-hit it. Oh, womp womp. I guess impaling 5 doesn't increase the damage that much, but it definitely does increase the damage. Now that we got a maxed out trident, now we are on to the mace. The beloved mace. Who doesn't love this mace? The mace is definitely the best item in the game from 1.21. Definitely the best to kill players with. And what you'll need for this mace is mending, unbreaking 3, density 5, or breach 4, and wind burst 3. This is so what these do, density. So as you can see, if I go ahead and fall from a high height and try to hit the sheep, as you can see, insta kills it and does this really cool animation. Like, watch this. Isn't that cool? Now, what it does is mace basically counts how far you have fallen, and then times it by how much, by what amount, and then whatever that final number is how much damage you do to the mob. Then it does that cool animation. So what density is that the farther you fall, the more. So it's like, I can't remember what. So let's just say you deal 1.25 per block that you fall from. Well, with density 5, what it would do is it would increase that by 1.75 or so to 1.75, so that you deal more damage when you hit the ground and do that. Now, Breach 4, the thing about density 5 is I can't combine it with Breach 4. Womp womp. What Breach 4 is, it doesn't do anything to mobs. When you're in the middle of a fight, and then you happen to be above the player, if they have armor, like really good armor, doesn't matter. If you have Breach 4, this will do so much damage to them. It ignores their armor, and almost, like, it does so much damage to them. I'm having a lot of fun killing things, just so you know. I don't know why, but I'm getting, like, really good at this. A Breach 4 is basically what it does. So when you fall from a high height, let's just say that pig had armor, and I come down from it and strike it. If it had armor, it would do the same exact thing it just did there. It would kill it almost instantly. Obviously, with the player, it's different because they got more health, but it ignore armor completely. It's like you trying to jump from a high height onto a naked player and then almost insta-killing them. And you can definitely insta-kill them with Breach 4. Wind Burst, what Wind Burst does is that when I come down and I hit the sheep, I don't get launched back up, sadly. Well, with Wind Burst, on the other hand, it launches you back up, so you can do as many crits as you want on that animal. This is by far the most OP thing on the mace. By the way, guys, I also control the night and day, as you can see. Man, I'm really good at this. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to put it on. So if you're messing around with this, I would recommend putting density on. If you're actually trying to kill a player, I would recommend putting on Breach, because it definitely is good. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put on density 5 just for context. Density 5 is also cheaper, so I would go density 5. Usually, I'm not usually in a PvP battle. So let's go ahead and start. Let's put mending on it. I'm breaking on it. Now it's really powerful mace, never will die. And then let's go ahead and put density 5 on it, and then wind burst 3. This is awesome. So as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and show you the Wind Burst 3 enchantment. If I go ahead and fall into the sheep, as you can see, I got shot up so far. Let's just let's just say like the player, I don't know, is right beneath you and you're on a tree. As soon as this cow moves out, if I go ahead and try to jump onto this cow, it will launch me up miles, and I can go ahead and hit that cow too. And then if I could, and probably if I was closer, I could even do a crazy clutch to show off your friends right on top of this pillar and be like, I am king here, you can't beat me. This thing is so cool. And what's even cooler, if I go ahead and summon a warden and then went upon this warden, I would keep on doing damage to it and it won't do anything about it. Oh. Well, if you're in survival, he can there. But I could just keep critting him and critting him, and he can't do anything about it. Look at that, he's dead. That's what you can do to a ward. That's what you can do to the ward. This thing is so OP. Strongest mob in the game, remember? Reminder, strongest mob in the game. And I can kill it in 4 stinking hits. 4 hits, again. And I can even one-shot this cow if I wanted to and land on the podium. Boom. So OP. This thing is so awesome. If you get this and you use this in PvP, your friends are done for. As you can see, no one's going to fight me, especially if I go ahead and pose with this mace. No one's going to fight me. Oh, and the thunder comes down before me. Look at this. No one's going to ever want to fight me, especially with this gear all maxed out. I've even got a maxed out flint and steel. I got a maxed out flint and steel what can they do? They can't do anything. They're not going to stand the wrath of my flint and steel. I can be shooting them down, and they can't do anything about it. I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I really hope this was a lot of help. So yeah, reminder, if you guys came here for 32k enchants, that's cool. I love how the thing tries to chase us. If you came here for 32k enchants, well, guess what? You can't get that without hacks. So sorry, you can't do that. But if you do want to get OP armor, go ahead and click on the video on screen. And if you want to get OP armor that you usually can't get in the game, go ahead and click on the video on screen. And I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Please consider hitting that like button, smashing that subscribe button, ringing the notification bell. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys, and goodbye.